This lesson is about the definite, indefinite, and partitive articles. Let's get this started. Also expressions of quantity. So we know that indefinite articles are un, une, des, and that means one or more than one item. For example, un sandwich, une pomme, des carottes, a sandwich, an apple, some carrots. You can also say je voudrais un café. I would like a coffee, just the one. And it also refers to a whole item. Je vais acheter une tarte. You're going to buy a whole pie, an entire pie. The definite article, le, la, les, refers to specific items. For example, you might use the sentence passe-moi la baguette, pass me the baguette, referring to a specific one, like the one on the table that I'm pointing to, la baguette, specifically. It's also used to express general preferences when in English we would not use an article at all. So in French you can say j'adore la glace, je n'aime pas le poisson. I love ice cream. In English we would not use an article. Or I don't like fish in general. And we're not using an article in English, but you need to use the definite article le, la, les in French. And you usually express general preferences using the verbs aimer, adorer, préférer, or détester, verbs like that. We also have the partitive article, du, de, la, or de, l apostrophe, and that means some, an amount of. For example, je voudrais du spaghetti. You want some spaghetti. You don't want all of the spaghetti. Je bois de l'eau. I'm drinking some water in my cup, not all of the water. J'ai mangé de la tarte. Notice if you'd said j'ai mangé la tarte, that would mean I ate the whole pie. Instead, you're saying de la tarte, some pie. Same thing with je prends du vin. I'm having some wine. If you said je prends le vin, that means you're having all the wine, and you don't want to do that. So notice the partitive article is usually used, but not always, with these verbs. So you can say voici, voilà, il y a, here is, there are, some, an amount of a food, with the verbs boire, manger, prendre, to drink, to eat, to have, to take. Notice prendre can mean to have or to take a certain amount of food. Je prends du vin, for example. Acheter, vendre, commander, to buy, to sell, to order. Avoir, vouloir, to have, to want. Like I said, not always, but mostly in these situations is when you would say you want some amount of food, not all of the food. And here's a nice summary. Le, la, les, like in English, would refer to a specific thing. Voici le gâteau. Also used in generally in English when we would not use an article at all. Un, une, des refers to one or several whole items. Un gâteau, here is a cake, an entire cake. And du, de, la, des, some, a portion of, or an amount. Voici du gâteau, here is some cake. Un gâteau, du gâteau. We also have some expressions of quantity, and these work differently because we've got a phrase, a set phrase, and we're always going to use the expression of quantity followed by de and then the noun. So you might say, je mange beaucoup de gâteaux, a lot of cake. Or look at the example, un kilo de pommes, a kilo of apples. Une douzaine d'œufs, une boîte de céréales, un morceau de fromage. All of these are expressions of quantity and they are always followed by de. And we'll talk about the adjective tout, which means all. Notice we have masculin, féminin, masculin pluriel, féminin pluriel, and they're pronounced differently. We have tout, toutes, tous, and toutes. That means all of an expression meaning all of. So tout le groupe, the whole group. tous les garçons, all the boys, toute la classe, the whole class, oops, toutes les filles, all the girls, and you might also recognize these expressions, tout le monde, everybody. You're literally saying all the world, and that means everyone, everybody, and tout le temps, all the time, always. Voila, those are your definite, indefinite, partitive articles and quantities and expressions with quantities.